Hi guys, good morning. I'm going to start to stream off with some clips. I invited my uncle and my cousin to watch, so I don't know if they are, but be on your best behavior. No, I'm just kidding. You guys are mostly really respectful and very, very nice. I'm very blessed to have subscribers, fans, whatever you want to say, like you guys. You guys are usually very supportive and very. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna start off with some clips, and then I'll just show my face for a minute. Hi guys, I'm gonna start off with some clips, and then I will wait for some more people to get on, and then I'm thinking I'll start taking calls around 10:30, and we can talk about this. You know, which side is committing election fraud right now. That's the talk of the day. All right. Hey, electronic doctor, March, cerebral, chemical, chemical 12? Damn, dude, I need to review. I'm making it to you guys, sorry. I need to review my Roman numerals. I think that's chemical 12. I think it's X, after X is 10, and then I is so 12. All right. Anyway, I'm gonna start with the clips and let some more people get on. Hello, Siobhan. I know they're filling out ballots as we speak for sure. Good morning, Marissa. Okay, I'm gonna start the clips. It'll be about 15 minutes or so, but I think if you guys have not seen this, it would be good resources for you. I found some really good clips of this lady explaining about the Democratic Party, and then this channel that I'm about to show you is called Be Like Water Media. If you guys have not subscribed to them, or if you guys are not aware of them, look at their stuff. They've done a really good job of documenting all the spontaneous Trump up rallies, pop-up rallies, and they also go and they'll interview, they're like blacks for Trump and Asians for Trump and Armenians for Trump and Cubans for Trump and Filipinos for Trump. So it really busts through this myth that Trump supporters are just these retarded white Christians. I don't think white Christian people are retarded. I'm just saying they try and make, the mainstream media tries to make people look, the supporters look, and if you're somebody that just watches mainstream media, you're not getting other alternative points of views, of course you're going to believe that, right? Of course. All right, so where are we at? All right, alrighty guys, here we go. This is a really nice clip of a lady explaining what Trump has done for the black community, okay? Which I know some of you guys might know, you can use this as a reference.
For business, right? Which is going to stimulate the economy, which is going to make people's lives better. And entrepreneurs, it's a rise of the entrepreneur right now because of this freedom of business and a business-minded president that is making all types of benefits for the average small business entrepreneur professional. He sent money to he made provisions for the HBCUs to have money for their schools. So when Obama was in office, they always had to come every year begging for that money. But Trump made it so they don't have to ask for the money. They're automatically given that money every year for the HBCUs, historically black colleges, and universities. So African American people need to wake up that he's actually doing a lot of things for us, for our people, for our communities, to help us and lift us up out of the inequality, disparities, marginalization, all these things that we're always griping about. But then you have a president in there that's actually doing things to help the cause, and you keep feeding into the narrative that's been spun against him. Okay. The next one is he's working to make America great again by bringing jobs back. Now, I know that slogan has been a triggering slogan for a lot of African American people because we don't understand. When we see everything through the lens of racism, we miss the point of sometimes what someone's saying. Just because a white person says something, or just because Donald Trump says, it's not all white people that you see this with, but because Donald Trump said it, then you think that it's racist. But Make America Great Again actually was a slogan first coined by Ronald Reagan, that he borrowed that term from Ronald Reagan, who was the first one to say that. So no one protested Ronald Reagan when Ronald Reagan was saying Make America Great Again. And no one was like, well, when was it ever great for the African American? We didn't see a rise up of black people saying that then. But we see this now because of this narrative that has been spun against Donald Trump. And so the term, let me break it down for you. My black people, my African American people, the term make America great again, he is referring to manufacturing and bringing back the jobs. There was a time in America when America was almost seen as the superpower, as one of the richest nations in the world, and all the countries of the world looked to us as the financial superpower. China started taking over that role. China began to rise up as a superpower. For one, they steal a lot of people's intellectual property. That's one way that they're on the rise, because they're thieves and they steal. Another way now we see them on the rise is because they released this virus. So China began to take over, and then he started putting these stipulations against China, the tariffs and the different things that they couldn't just trade as freely, and all of our jobs and everything else wasn't going over there to them. I kind of wonder if this virus that was released was a retaliation tactic against the fact that he started putting all these stipulations on China, and China didn't have the same power that they had once Trump came into office, because of all that he started setting up and setting into place. He started bringing jobs back in. He started opening up the trade for America again, to be great again. He's talking about manufacturing. He's talking about industry. He's talking about jobs. He's talking about business, bringing business back to America, putting America first instead of making all these other countries first and giving away our resources until we become like the third world country and all these other countries are prospering, which makes no sense. You take care of home first and then you can help everybody else. That's the way the cookie crumbles. Okay, now, the fact that he's a law and order president, to me, in my opinion, and you don't have to agree with me, and you may be offended by what I'm about to say, but to me, the only people that want to defund the police are either criminals, or they have mental issues, or it's some type of trauma there. You have trauma, so because of something that bad experience you had with a police officer, and you want to defund the police. But mostly, primarily, it's criminals that want the police defunded. So the fact that he's a law and order president, you have to start viewing him through the lens of law and order and not through racism. The stuff he says is because he's law and order. It's not against your race, okay? Because if he was against your race, he wouldn't be putting money into the HBCUs and a few other things I'm going to get to on this list. Now, the next thing is, so we said law and order president, the fact that he wants to restore law and order and not have us live in total chaos, anarchy, and destruction, or live like, if you go, like I said before, to that video about Chaz and Chop and see how your life is going to look like if you totally defund the police and abolish the police, go live there, go to Seattle now and go move in on that street if they let you do that again, because I know they took it down now. But go to Seattle, sit in the middle of the riots and live your life like that for the rest of your life and just keep fighting with the police. That's what you are asking for if you don't have law and order. The next thing is that let me see. I said something about the country down. Oh, he shut the country down during this pandemic, trying to put a stop to the flow of people traveling from other places and further spreading the virus. Now, we know because things were hidden and everything wasn't told, then no, he didn't shut it down fast enough. Because why? China held back the information of what was going on. And you also had a lot of people on the Democratic side that was putting pressure and complaining about him shutting it down. They were in China. Who was it? Nancy Pelosi and these people were in China. What is it called? Oh my goodness. The place that the different cities, Chinatown, there you go. They were in Chinatown having dinner and meals and saying, oh, it's no threat. So I don't understand. The same people that were saying it was no threat are mad at him saying that he mishandled it. It makes no sense. So anyway, moving on. He also, I'm sorry. He also put in place the First Step Act, which helped release African American prisoners who were sentenced to nonviolent crimes. He's helping them come home to their families, right? So we had Joe Biden and Bill Clinton, who wrote this 94 Crime Bill Act that hurt the African American community and put a lot of African American men, women in jail, took them away from children, broke up families. but that was written by Joe Biden. He wrote that legislation. And so Donald Trump signed the First Step Act, which helped release a lot of those same individuals that were affected by that 94 crime bill. And your friend Kamala Harris was also making sure she locked up black men big time when she was the attorney general over there in California. So, moving on. He also now has set forth an economic plan for the black community where he's planning to pour, I think it's like, is it $500 million? I forget the amount. You can go to Anthony Brian Logan's page. He breaks that down, that plan that Donald Trump made for the African American community, black community, and how he's going to help improve us over the next 4 years with his plan. He actually has a detailed plan. Where's Biden's plan? I'll wait. Okay, next. He has he has a plan for the wall, and his wall is not racist. It has nothing to do with your race. It has nothing to do with if you're Mexican. He's not against Mexicans, okay? He's not against he's not against Spanish people. It has to do with crime, okay? He's trying to keep the criminals out, so he's planning to build the wall. That wall is getting built, and it's to keep out the criminals, the drug traffickers, the gang bangers of the MS-13, whatever their little gang name is, and sex traffickers. That ICE, you guys hate ICE so much, but ICE helps shut down sex traffickers, and I don't have the numbers of what the percentage is every year that they're they're stopping the sex trafficking. All you people that are rising up on the activism side of how horrible sex trafficking is, but you can't see the forest for the trees when he's putting in place, again, law and order. He's putting in place law and order to slow down. When was the last time they had a bus? Well, I've seen plenty of things here in Florida. They've had several busts now with the sex trafficking rings. But there hasn't been as many. If you remember, there was a time it was a big rise of they kept busting these sex traffickers. I haven't heard a lot of stories. Now, you guys can correct me, put it down in the comments, tell me what other stories you've heard coming out about these sex traffickers being busted. Now, some might say that's just because they haven't gotten caught yet, whatever, but that wall is going to help because that's where a lot of the drugs and the guns and a lot of things, sex trafficking comes in through Mexico, okay? In case you didn't know, do your homework and your research for yourself and you will see what I'm talking about. He also raised employment and lowered the unemployment rate, in particular in the African American community. He's creating more jobs. He's taking off the stipulations for the businesses, which is opening up the economy, which is helping the businesses be able to hire more people, make more money, and all that good stuff. He is constantly thinking of ways to stimulate the economy. Why? Because he's a business person. He has a business mind. He knows how to run a business. I don't care what any of you say about the tax situation, which we can go there and get into that. He also set it up for this peace deal in the Middle East, which caused him to be nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize. I think this is like his third. And it seems to me that he would be well deserving of it based on all this list I just gave you. I don't know how many things. I stopped counting. You can tell me how many they were. He's done all this stuff in 3 years. He's done more in 3 years than Joe Biden has done in his 47 years in office. You tell me, what has Joe Biden done that I can put a list together for? I don't know. I'll wait. I still am waiting, okay? So I don't know what Joe Biden has done that's helped anybody except for Joe Biden and Hunter Biden. That's about it. I don't know what he's showing, but he's helped Joe Biden and Hunter Biden, okay? You tell me. You tell me what my husband is doing this. He's over here in the corner laughing. This big. You tell me, what has Joe Biden done for anybody other than Joe Biden? Joe Biden and Hunter Biden. Okay? All right. So if you're like me, you want to have religious freedoms, you want to have less crime, more order in our society, more civility. If you want to, any of these things, you're basing your opinions of him. He's still laughing. You're basing your opinions of him based on some comments that he said, some missteps he misspoke, or he's very brash in the way he talks sometimes. Okay, I'm not going to lie about that. I won't make excuses for him on that. I pray for that man that he, gets control of some of that stuff and how he talks and the different language he uses. But you can't deny his record. You can't deny all that he's done. I just listed out, I don't know if that's like 25 things. You count it for me and tell me. Anyway, make sure you comment and let me know anything I missed on this list. I'm sure it's something. But Trump has done a lot for this country. It's going to be a sad situation if he's not reelected. God forbid. God forbid and God help this country. I hope and pray that America does the right thing and votes in her best interest to reelect the person that has done so much for his country, more than any other president that besides probably, especially for African Americans, since Abraham Lincoln. Okay, since Lincoln freed the slaves, tell me what president has done more for the African American community. Your last few presidents wrote crime bills to lock all your people up. So I don't know. Let's wake up, people, and get it together. God bless you. I'm Epiphany Tanya. Make sure you go check out my books on Amazon.com under LaTanya's Epiphany. And until the next video, peace.
What's going on, boys and girls? This is your boy Ryan Fo, aka Be Like Water Media. And if
all right, good. Here's another one. Here's another clip I'm gonna show. Oh no. Okay. Here we go.
When you think about racial equality and civil rights, which political party comes to mind? The Republicans or the Democrats? Most people would probably say the Democrats, but this answer is incorrect. Since its founding in 1829, the Democratic Party has fought against every major civil rights initiative and has a long history of discrimination. The Democratic Party defended slavery, started the Civil War, opposed Reconstruction, founded the Ku Klux Klan, imposed segregation, perpetrated lynchings, and fought against the Civil Rights Acts of the 1950s and 1960s. In contrast, the Republican Party was founded in 1854 as an anti-slavery party. Its mission was to stop the spread of slavery into the new Western territories with the aim of abolishing it entirely. This effort, however, was dealt a major blow by the Supreme Court in the 1857 case Dred Scott versus Sandford. The court ruled that slaves aren't citizens, they're property. The 7 justices who voted in favor of slavery, all Democrats. The 2 justices who dissented, both Republicans. The slavery question was, of course, ultimately resolved by a bloody civil war. The commander-in-chief during that war was the first Republican president, Abraham Lincoln, the man who freed the slaves. 6 days after the Confederate Army surrendered, John Wilkes Booth, a Democrat, assassinated President Lincoln. Lincoln's vice president, a Democrat named Andrew Johnson, assumed the presidency. But Johnson adamantly opposed Lincoln's plan to integrate the newly freed slaves into the South's economic and social order. Johnson and the Democratic Party were unified in their opposition to the 13th Amendment, which abolished slavery, the 14th Amendment, which gave blacks citizenship, and the 15th Amendment, which gave blacks the vote. All 3 passed only because of universal Republican support. During the era of Reconstruction, federal troops stationed in the South helped secure rights for the newly freed slaves. Hundreds of black men were elected to Southern state legislatures as Republicans, and 22 black Republicans served in the U.S. Congress by 1900. The Democrats did not elect a black man to Congress until 1935. But after Reconstruction ended, when the federal troops went home, Democrats roared back into power in the South. They quickly reestablished white supremacy across the region with measures like black codes, laws that restricted the ability of blacks to own property and run businesses, and they imposed poll taxes and literacy tests used to subvert black citizens' right to vote. And how is all of this enforced? By terror, much of it instigated by the Ku Klux Klan, founded by a Democrat, Nathan Bedford Forrest. As historian Eric Foner, himself a Democrat, notes, in effect, the Klan was a military force serving the interests of the Democratic Party. President Woodrow Wilson, a Democrat, shared many views with the Klan. He resegregated many federal agencies and even screened the first movie ever played at the White House, the racist film The Birth of a Nation, originally entitled The Klansman. A few decades later, the only serious congressional opposition to the landmark Civil Rights Act of 1964 came from Democrats. 80% of Republicans in Congress supported the bill, less than 70% of Democrats did. Democratic senators filibustered the bill for 75 days until Republicans mustered the few extra votes needed to break the logjam. And when all of their efforts to enslave blacks, keep them enslaved, and then keep them from voting had failed, the Democrats came up with a new strategy. If black people are going to vote, they might as well vote for Democrats, as President Lyndon Johnson was purported to have said about the Civil Rights Act. I'll have them voting Democrat for 200 years. So now, the Democratic Party prospers on the votes of the very people it has spent much of its history oppressing. Democrats falsely claim that the Republican Party is the villain, when in reality, it's the failed policies of the Democratic Party that have kept blacks down. Massive government welfare has decimated the black family. Opposition to school choice has kept them trapped in failing schools. Politically correct policing has left black neighborhoods defenseless against violent crime. So when you think about racial equality and civil rights, which political party should come to mind? I'm Carol Swain, professor of political science and law at Vanderbilt University for Prager University.
All right, guys. Let's chew this one. Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man.
Identical to the
Remember Connie Chung? Some flashback.
Iowa State Democratic presidential candidate Joseph Biden today faces a controversy. 3 weeks ago, at a debate at the Iowa State Fair, he used phrases identical to those delivered by British Labour Party leader Neil Kinnock.
Biden seemed to be claiming Kinnock's vision and life as his own.
Why is it that my wife, who's sitting out there in the audience, is the first in her family to ever go to college?
Why is Gladys the first woman in her family in 1,000 generations to be able to get to university?
My ancestors who worked in the coal mines in northeast Pennsylvania and who come up after 12 hours and play football.
8 hours underground and then come up and play football.
It's because they didn't have a platform upon which to stand.
There was no platform upon which they could stand.
The notion that every thought or notion or idea you'd have to go back and find and attribute to someone, I think is, quite frankly, ludicrous.
The problem here is that Senator Biden told his audience he'd just been thinking about these things, and he failed to give any credit at all to his famous British speechwriter.
You know, I was thinking on the way over here. Now, that's a little too much, because, as you point out, what's behind the words? What's there? And a lot of people, the rap on Biden has always been that it's just a surface.
I should have said, to paraphrase Neil Kinnock, it's the only time I didn't, and all the times I've ever used it.
But CBS News found a tape of a second instance.
It reappeared in the New York Times with a new charge, that Biden had appropriated a famous litany from the late Robert Kennedy about what the gross national product cannot measure.
It cannot measure the health of our children.
The health of our children.
The quality of our education.
The quality of their education.
The joy of their play.
Or the joy of their play.
Biden gave Kennedy no credit. He has also quoted or paraphrased John Kennedy, Hubert Humphrey, and British Labour Party leader Neil Kinnock, all without credit.
Joseph Biden admitted today that he committed plagiarism when he was in law school. He said it was a mistake, but that it was unintentional.
He quoted 5 pages of someone else's work without proper citation.
I've done some dumb things, and I'll do dumb things again.
He was given an F.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I've been dumb.
To the political community in Washington, it all seems of a piece. Plagiarism at law school, plagiarism on the stump.
The great communicator. Strike that. The great imitator.
You don't steal verbatim, or when you do, as he did 99% of the time, you give credit.
Biden's critics say he sells himself as a man whose words and visions can inspire a new generation in politics. But if the thoughts, phrases, and visions really belong to others, it's a form of false advertising.
Is it a wise idea, though, to take something that personal, anyway, from another politician and try and appropriate it to your own campaign?
I think it was a stupid thing to appropriate material that was really very personal, that was someone else's.
Most people didn't know who he was, you know, Joe Biden, and now they're going to say, oh, yeah, he's the guy who plagiarized. That's
a lot of
their
people.
first. Politically, that's devastating.
These clips are devastating. He looks like a Joe Biden wind-up doll with somebody else's words coming out.
If they're going to do things that are stupid as well as immoral, then they're probably too dumb to have the job of president.
The voters are going to have to decide whether he was dishonest or dumb.
Senator Joseph Biden may have more explaining to do. The new questions stem from taped remarks of Biden during an April campaign appearance in New Hampshire.
I went to law school on a full academic scholarship, the only one in my class to have a full academic scholarship. Went back to law school and, in fact, ended up in the top half of my class. I was the outstanding student in the political science department at the end of my year. I graduated with 3 degrees from undergraduate school and 165 credits, only needed 123 credits.
Biden now concedes he did not graduate in the top half of his law school class, that he does not have 3 degrees from college, and that he was not named outstanding political science student in college.
Newsweek says Biden actually went to school on a half scholarship, ended up near the bottom of his class, and won only 1 degree, not 3.
Joe Biden ranked 76th in a class of 85 at the University of Syracuse Law School. I mean, this guy comes off this whole thing as a flyweight.
Now Biden says Newsweek is right. His memory had failed him.
And I'd be delighted to sit down and compare my IQ to yours if you'd like, Frank.
Joe Biden was victimized by the truth.
Bye-bye, Biden. He may not know it yet, but I think this is going to be very difficult for him to recover.
Is Joe Biden dead meat, yes or no?
I think so.
Bob?
Terminal condition.
Terminal. Eleanor?
Yes, unless he comes in third in Iowa.
Morton?
Dying.
I say dead. We'll be right back.
All right, one more clip, you guys. I think you guys, this is relevant, really relevant. I mean, all this stuff is relevant for today. But let me play this one last clip, and then I'll start talking, and we'll start taking calls and stuff.
Rodriguez and her illegal election law activity. Earlier this week, we introduced you to Raquel Rodriguez and her illegal election law activities in San Antonio, Texas. Well, there is more. Listen carefully as she tells our undercover journalist the cost of buying votes.
I've got 3 Democrats, 3 Republicans, and the rest are Democrats.
Okay.
So how much money are we talking? Because just so you'll know, when you do things like this for votes, you're talking between $5 to $8 per vote. I'm just letting you know, so you have an idea. And I'm going to bring $3,500 to the plate, countywide. So I know what I'm bringing to the plate countywide. So that's like $28,000.
Like model right now. He said, "Okay, Raquel, if you were running, what would you do?" So he sat me down and I said, "I would do this, 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 and this." He said, "How much money do you think you would need?" And I budgeted everything, right? Okay, boom, you do it. So he was paying me $5,000 a month, and now he's paying me $8,000 a month. Why? Because I took in this extra job.
So between you and me, I've got 4 judges that are calling me right now. This is what they're asking me. And they're like, we want to be a part of this group. So if we pay you $3,500 each, that's like $12,000, dude. So those 3 judges that I'm talking about, and that's Renee Yanta, Nicole Garza, right? They're paying me $3,500, to make sure that their name is on the ballot.
How much did the city council race cost?
I gave you my total.
It's in there?
It's $5,000 a month for me, $8,000 for Tom.
Yep, $8,000.
$8,000 for our 2
How many months will it go through?
7.
56,000?
Probably.
That's
And then 2 months of early voting. 2 months of early voting is my people's 5 to 7.
Cash.
Yeah.
asked about buying votes for U.S. Senate candidate M.J. Hagar and candidate Biden, here's what she had to say.
We're looking at top of tickets to get votes for either Biden. How many votes do you think you can deliver for us?
At least 5,000.
And what are we looking at as far as how much that's going to cost?
For the entire team that I'm looking at 55,000.
So $55,000 for 5,000 votes top of ticket, either Biden.
If not more, I'm not going to overpromise because remember, we're 16 days till election day. You can give me cash, you can do whatever you want to do.
$55,000 upfront, 5,000.
That's right.
Cash.
Cash. Yeah, I'm getting the Biden vote out, but I mean, I'm not going to do it for free. In other words, if they don't pay me, I'm like, excuse me, that's another worry I don't have to worry about.
You said it was like $5 or $8 per vote? How many votes? I mean, how much are we looking at roughly?
Shoot, you know what? It's $8 per vote, but I would say like right now, I'd say $5 to $6. Let's say $6 per vote.
Okay.
Let's not go $8, okay? Let's say 6 votes, $6 per vote,
okay.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to bring you 5,000 votes.
5,000.
5,000 votes. That's county-wide.
Right.
5,000 votes could swing the entire state.
It can.
What would you think about President Trump? He's always complaining, right? And then imagine if you could swing the Texas. It's a real reality.
It's a real reality.
We understand the Biden-Hager 5,000 votes, $55,000 cash for you. We understand that.
Quit saying that. Yeah, we know the numbers.
You're making him
Making me nervous
making
now.
you nervous.
Our journalist asked Rodriguez what is the going rate to get her help to get a candidate elected to a city council seat or a judgeship.
So roughly for the city council race for 21, we're looking.
Okay, so 5,000, 3,000, 8,000 times 7 months. That's 56,000. But 2 months of those are going to be, he's going to get 5 and I'm going to get 7. So 56 plus, that's 14. That's 10. That's like 71,000.
71,000. And how do you want it?
Cash.
Okay. And then, is that in line with what you've done in the past with candidates, or are the prices going up?
Well, the prices are going up only because of the fact that I've got more data. I've registered more people because with this, and not only that, I'm going to be more grounded.
Okay.
We're talking the connections I have. You're not only getting me, you're getting my connections. I'm getting the state rep elected right now. Guess what's going to happen? That's going to be the girl that I showed you, Liz.
Liz Campbell.
Guess what? I'm going to need her for something because that's her backyard. She ran last year and lost. She ran 2 years ago and she lost. She ran this year for state rep.
So then we're talking about the judgeships. So say for voters like that, you will push the judges too. You'll tell them which judges to vote for.
Yes.
And your judges this year are Yanta or no?
Yeah, Yanta and not only Yanta but Nicole Garza.
Okay. You know, you got the judges, huh?
Yeah, the judges.
How many do you have? 3 or 4?
I have Judge Renee Yata and Judge Nicole Garza.
Okay. They're Democrats?
One's a Democrat, one's a Republican.
Okay.
I work for Karen Crowder here in Knox.
What do they do? Just call you and get you?
They know me.
Raquel Rodriguez is paid well for her services, but is also willing to trade her services for political clout. Listen to this. She is talking about a local judge running for re-election named Renee Yanta.
She heard you.
So what did Renee do when you told her that?
Well, Raquel, I need help. And I said, well, I'll help you. But now she's out 2,000.
Oh, wait, you said you'd help her, but then...
She's out 2,000.
Right.
But Renee, she wins. We're going to need her. She's the Chief Justice. So I told her, I know you're out money, but tell me what you can afford. I can afford 700. Give me the 700. I'm out. I've lost money. Understand? I'm out money now because I got to take care of everybody.
So you have to pay you 700 cash just to take care of it.
You take care of it. Everybody else would have paid me 3. She didn't have it. She just got screwed.
Right. Instead of 3,000, you got 700.
So what does she owe me? Favors. So when I called for him, what did she do? Produce.
So it's not bad to have a chief judge?
Raquel Rodriguez boasts about all the other political power brokers who are in her pocket.
That's what I'm saying. It's nice to have help a judge get elected.
Of course.
Because like Liz or somebody, when you need something from them.
State rep. So I have a state rep. I have a senator right now. I'm talking to my pocket. State rep, senator, commissioner, judges. I haven't needed anything.
State rep.
Are you talking about Roland PTO?
No, no.
What's the state rep?
State rep is going to be Liz. She's going to win.
And that senator?
The senator is Pete Flores.
Oh, Pete Flores.
He's the Republican. He's
Okay.
going to win.
Okay.
Has he won already?
He's already.
So you got Pete in your...
He called me and said, Raquel, what do you need? I told him I needed some face masks he was giving out. He gave me like 22 dozen.
You got Pete in the pocket.
Pete in the pocket.
Ballots and beers, Pete in the pocket. You are a marketing genius.
I told her, are you tired of losing? Because she lost twice. 3 strikes her out. I said, you've never had me on your team. She said, let's try it.
And then when you need her for something...
And I brought her, listen to this, I brought her to the general, to the primary, and then she was in a runoff, and I got her out of the runoff. Now, she couldn't afford me. The average person would have said, I'm not going to help you when it goes to your opponent. You know what I told her? I respect you, but you're going to own me. Okay? Just remember what I'm doing.
And she's okay with that.
Yeah, who isn't? Because that would normally cost her $6,000. But she's saving $6,000. That's for me and for Tom. She's saving money.
She sounds like a smart person.
She's very smart. She may have done it on purpose because she knew she was going to win. But right now, they're scared because of the independent voter. They don't know how that's going to go.
Gotcha. So
but I told her, like, you know what? Like, I'm pushing you as much as I can. But I can't make everybody else push you because everybody else is getting paid. Now, my people are undercover because some of them are Republicans, some of them are Democrats, some of them are just wanting to get the right people in office. So some of my Republicans are precinct chairs that cannot be known because they could get kicked out, but they want to help the Biden. So that's how they're helping me with my debt.
These Republicans want to help Biden too?
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. That's exactly what I'm getting paid to do.
I had a judge that I had worked for 20 years, and she switched from Democrat to Republican.
Oh, okay.
For political reasons, because she was Anglo-American and you can't barely beat a Latina in the primary. So she switched, but I ran her campaign and when she switched, and the others were like, because the guy was saying, she's a Democrat, you know, so they were, trying to use that, and so the other judges were like, how did you do that? I said, well,
Yeah. Can I ask you that? What was your name?
Karen Crouch.
We hope the legal authorities in the state of Texas take note of this investigation. Voter fraud and election fraud are real, and this country needs to wake up and do something about it. Be brave, do something. Contact VERITAS tips at protonmail.com.
All right, guys, and the thing about that was she's probably one of many got caught. You think she's the only person that's doing that? So there was a dude in the chat that was like, oh, Republicans are going to see this and they're going to say, oh, it's the Democrats stealing the trying to steal the election. Yeah, no shit. So why don't you find me the videos where Republicans are doing election fraud? Project Veritas, this is just the most recent one. During the midterms, they actually had many videos. If you want to go back to a couple years ago and look through the videos, they had many videos of Democrats getting caught trying to steal the election, okay? The whole mail-in ballot thing was the Democrats' idea, and they're making it mandatory that everybody get a mail-in ballot. Now, my mom got a mail-in ballot at her place. I've never lived with my mom since she's moved to this new place. I haven't lived with my mom in years. But, you know, interestingly enough, she got a mail-in ballot for me and my father. And, you know, thank God my mom's an honest person. You know, she's not going to use those ballots to go vote. But the fact is, they're like, why is she getting a mail-in ballot? You know, my mail-in ballot in California, and I live in Texas. I haven't lived in California in like 5 years, almost 6 years. You know, I didn't register in California. I haven't been registered in California since 2008. But yet she's still getting ballots, right? You know, they're doing stuff like they're trying to, you know, the Democrats were the ones that were against voter ID. When I went to vote yesterday, everybody was wearing a mask except yours truly, because that's some bullshit. But, you know, they weren't even checking people to see if their mask would match with their ID, right? So you can have a mask on And I didn't see anybody. I was noticing I didn't see anybody to be asked to pull down their mask so they can verify their face with their mask. So people could just put masks on and just vote for other people if they look kind of similar in the eyes, But what else? They're not checking people. They're not checking IDs. There was I think somebody in Pennsylvania was like an official. I forgot his name, but he was calling the election, saying, "Oh, Trump's already won." I'm like, that's really unprofessional, the whole mass mail-in ballots shit. Like, how? Yeah, there's so many ways that can go wrong, and like I said, that was the Democrats' idea. And they're not showing all these mass rallies. They're not showing the Trump rallies, okay, in mass. They just keep it on his face. They don't show the sea of people that he has behind them. They're not showing all of the spontaneous rallies and parades that they're having all over the country, okay? That channel, the first video I showed you with the lady that was black, that was talking about all the great things that Trump has done. Go to that channel. They have really good documentation of all the rallies that have been all over the country, right? Waves and waves and waves of people. And for some news media outlets that are what am I trying to say? Some news media outlets that are sorry, I'm like trying to do two things. They keep YouTube keeps censoring your votes. Yeah. For what was I gonna say? Shoot, I lost my train of thought. We're talking about the rallies. Oh, the rallies. So the news media that's actually reporting the rallies, they're saying, oh, well, Joe Biden is being responsible because he's social distancing and he's going by the coronavirus's guidelines. That's some fucking bullshit, okay? One, because they weren't, people were allowed to go out and riot and burn shit down. They weren't telling Antifa and Black Lives Matter to be responsible and not spread the virus, okay? But yeah, there's no virus spreaders, there's no virus, there's no spreading the virus or case hikes, when there's rioting involved. But somehow when people go to peaceful rallies or protests, the virus spikes. I guess the virus, likes to multiply when there's peaceful protests and rallies, and when it's violent looting and rioting, it doesn't multiply, I guess, right? That's really their logic, okay? Another thing I wanted to show you, I was thinking, so they're saying if people there's going to be some kind of balance either way. I think when Trump wins, the left will riot, but I think if Biden wins by fraud, what will happen is there'll be a lot of protesting, and then they'll throw agitators out there to antagonize the people that are protesting against the false takeover, right? This is interesting too, because I was talking to somebody, and people that say this shit's going on both sides, there's lazy, right? I'm just like, show me the evidence, that's all, right? So when they're talking about violence, check this out, you guys. Breitbart, and then somebody might see this and be like, oh, well, Breitbart's very left-leaning, and I'm like, okay, you can say that, but very right-leaning, you can say that, but these, this is just a list. So the references that they're using aren't related to Breitbart, but this is from 2019, and then there's a whole separate other page. Let me go back to this page. These are all the hate crimes that have been perpetrated against Trump supporters, okay? People that spread. This is from February. This is the 2020 list. I was like, dang, right? Including murders, people getting burned, people getting their houses burned. Like I've said, I had friends run out of their business. I've had friends that's had their drinks poisoned. I've had friends that have gotten death threats. And then these are all of the list, right? So of all the that have made, and these are just the ones that have made public, have made it to the public, right, in the public eye. Right? Look at this, guys. Look at this. All these hate crimes. All these hate crimes. So for the people that's just like, oh, it's on both sides, please show me the list. Please show me the list, because, the Democrats and the leftists, they own the mainstream media. So, if it was this many hate crimes, right? This is even before the election, starting from 2015 all the way up. And what this is like, I don't know, man. Wait, how much is it? 332 documented. I saw a list that was higher. And then you can click on the links and you can actually see in detail, right? So, I mean, this is just, I mean, I don't even, like, what? What? Okay, now check this out. There was somebody yesterday too saying, oh, that list has been debunked. And I gave him the PDF of the Trump's accomplishments, and clearly he didn't bother to look at it because he was like, oh, it's just a list that's been debunked. Well, actually, dude, this list has links, right? This list has links where you can go cross-reference and see that this is real. This week, Trump signed 3 bills for Native people. One gives compensation to the Spokane tribe for the loss of their lands in the mid-1900s. One reauthorizes funding for Native language programs, and the other gives federal recognition to the Little Shell tribe of Chippewa Indians in Montana. So, I mean, I have a friend that's Native American. I have a couple friends that's Native American, but one of my friends was really excited about this, you know? And that's how I knew about this one, because he told me that when he was like, my people are getting recognized. I was like, all right, dude, that's cool. All right. Finalized the creation of Space Force, signed a law to make cruelty to animals a federal felony so that animal abusers face tougher consequences. Like, who abuses animals? Isn't that a good thing? That, I didn't even know that they didn't even get that tough crime, but like abusing animals, right? Violent crime has fallen every year since he's been in office, rising 2 years before he was elected, okay? Trump signed bill making CBD and hemp legal. I have friends that are hemp activists. They were super excited about this one. They, but this is, people that are complaining that are environmentalists, we can't do this overnight, but this is a path to becoming less dependent on oil through CBD and hemp, because hemp and it can replace our textiles, it can replace oil, it can replace for cars, it can replace plastics. Okay, it'd take a while, but this is great, right? It can help people open up businesses, and farmers. It would be good for farmers if you want to become a farmer and farm hemp. To help with the entrepreneurship of this country. Trump EPA gave $100 million to fix the water infrastructure in Flint, Michigan. Wow. Well, wasn't that happening with Obama? Well, how come Obama didn't do this, right? Lots of black people live in Flint, right? He didn't do that. Obama didn't do shit for that, okay, under Trump's leadership. And then, you can go and look, okay? And then go and look and see. Don't just read the list. You'd be like, that list is bogus. That's not real. That's just a rumor. That's been debunked. I'm so sick of lazy people that want to live in fear and hate and ignorance. It's not good for anybody. So let me see. He ended a law ending gag orders of pharmacists that prevented them from sharing money and saving information. Do you know that people that had coronavirus, hydroxychloroquine reduces inflammation? I know, because I've had friends that have had lupus and they've used it. Lupus is like an autoimmune disorder, and you can get inflamed joints and stuff. So if your chest is inflamed from maybe too much mucus or infections, that's one thing that can help restrict the airflow. But if you take hydroxychloroquine, it what do you call it? It helps with the inflammation, right? And because the whole hydroxychloroquine was politicized, it preventing people who really needed it to get it, because the pharmacists were ordered not to fill the prescriptions of the doctors because it was so politicized. This is just bullshit, So I'm not going to go through the whole list, but I'll put this in the chat now, and then I'll put this in the links. I'll put this in the link. I'll put this in the link after the live stream is over. So there's a chat. And yeah. All right, guys, let's just start taking calls. 512-481-7464. What do you, oh, wait, 74. Oops, 64. 512-481, okay. I thought I pinned it to the top. I did not pin it to the top. Let me pin it. I pinned it to the top. Okay, 512-481-7464. Let me know what you guys think of, the videos I showed today. I tried to get some information. Like I said at the beginning, I invited my uncle. My uncle's probably not going to even bother. because he just thinks he's right. I'm so disappointed, you know, and it's actually really hurt that, you know, he won't even take my point of view into consideration. It's just, you know, automatically, I'm a person that's on the wrong side of history. I've been brainwashed. You know, I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, well, I mean, that really sucks. That, you know, my biggest opposition right now are my brother and my uncle. So, all right, let's. Which side is cheating? Tell me. What do you think?
Hi.
Hey, girl, what's up?
You know I'm gay.
Hey, who's that? No, just kidding.
Hey, you know.
I know your voice. Go ahead. What's up? What's going on, girl? How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Good.
I don't know. I feel like we're in the twilight zone. It's crazy. I'm trying to get work done, and I'm so distracted. And then I put these like binaural beats, background meditation, concentration music on. It's not working.
I used some yoga flute music too, and I was just like, oh my God, it's so like, I can't even concentrate. And I'm supposed to be doing stuff. Like, I'm pushing my song a little bit in my crowdfunding, but I really don't think it's gonna move until and take off until this whole election thing, because everybody's, including myself, I can't even be mad at everybody, you know? I can't even be like, I'm so focused on, I'm like, I can't even focus on my own stuff, because I'm like worried about the election.
Listen to this. This is so crazy. Listen to this. It's a friend on the left. It's on Facebook. Repeat after me. Biden wins. The election isn't. If Biden wins, they did not cheat. If Biden wins, I will accept the results. If Biden wins, God is still in control. Repeat again and again and again. I'm like, woo. You know, it's like I was listening to a podcast the other day where these guys were talking about what's the name of that black man who like converted 200 KKK members out of it?
Oh, I know.
He's like the blues musician.
Yeah, I love that guy.
But he couldn't turn a single Antifa over. He tried, but he couldn't. And these Antifa people were calling him a white supremacist. And
wait. So he actually tried. Wait. Back up 1 second. So he actually tried to talk to Antifa people and convert them.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he couldn't do it. He couldn't do it. And so these guys, this podcast I was listening to, they were talking about how, like in Antifa, they have this mind control technique, and they call it a mic check. So, like, they're at a rally or whatever, and somebody says, mic check, and then everybody else has to say, mic check. And then whatever that person says, everybody has to repeat. And if you refuse to repeat, they really put more, they just, like, start physically intimidating you. Mm-hmm. And so what they do is they break your will, because if they can get you to say out loud something that you don't believe in, then you'll eventually have no will, and then you'll wind up believing it. And so I'm reading what this person says. Repeat after me. If Biden wins, the election isn't rigged. If Biden wins, da-da-da-da-da. And to me, that's like mind control. It's the same thing.
It is.
You know, like really controlling people's perceptions of reality by making them say stuff that's ridiculous or it's not factual. And then earlier, a friend of mine posted like, oh my God, I'm so despondent. I can't believe it. Oh, it's so disgusting to think half of the United States are racist, homophobic, sexist, horrible people. And then people jumped on. And then this one guy was like, seriously, I'm feeling suicidal right now.
Wow.
Like
wow. The media is fucking awful. I mean? They're awful. Because I blame the media. The media they're the ones that are perpetrating the lies. You know, had we not gone out, like, you remember we went tubing and we came across that, we stumbled upon that spontaneous Trump rally, right? Yeah. Had we not gone out and talked to people and stumbled upon rallies like that, or gone out to see for ourselves, we would probably think like that too. Because that's all the TV is telling us, you know? But we know that's not true because we've actually gone outside of our comfort zone. I've been to about 3. And then that was just a surprise. But if you go through the videos, I actually caught a little bit on video, and I posted it up to the stage people. But I mean, to the page. You know, like they were like, "Oh my God, we love you. You're amazing." They weren't like die nigger die, you know. Like the media is trying to like saying that they are, you know.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, it's just, if you, like I said, if you really believe these people are racist, horrible people, then it's only because you really want to believe that. And I thought about it this morning. I woke up, because yesterday I was wondering, why would somebody want to hold on to that belief, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why? And then this morning I was like, oh, I get it. So this belief that Trump and his supporters are racist is the glue that holds everything together. It's this glue. It holds everything together. If you stop believing that Trump and his supporters are racist, then you have to be confronted with all of this diabolical stuff that you've signed off on.
Yeah.
Like, you have to realize that you're one of many millions of people who signed your name, who agreed to the shutdown that caused deaths of despair, that caused so many hundreds of thousands of people to die alone, that caused children to go for almost a year now without correct nutrition, right? So that's stunning
that caused
physical and
countries.
emotional growth.
Wait, countries. You were telling me too, right? Countries aren't getting, because of the corona. So people are dying of starvation in some countries because they're not getting, or they're dying because they're not getting medicine, or they're not getting food delivered because you know, they're not allowed to go out and farm their crops.
Yeah.
you know, just, it's crazy.
And so, so if you've agreed, because it's like, once you have to realize, okay, I've believed in a lie, what other lies have I believed in? So that one big lie that's the glue that holds everything together, if you don't believe in that lie anymore, then all the other lies that you've signed off on and believed in are right there in your face, because you don't have excuses anymore. Maybe your excuse all along has been like, oh, they're racist. That's your excuse for not looking at the truth, you know? And I realized it this morning. It's like, that's why people are holding on to this lie, because they know, every one of us knows deep down what the truth is. Every one of us knows, you know, otherwise we wouldn't be human at all. We wouldn't be alive. There's a part of us that knows, you know? And it's like, oh crap, if I don't believe Trump and his followers are racist, and all this time I've been blasting out on social media my hatred for these people, oh my God, I look no better or no different from the Nazis in Germany.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm a Nazi.
Yeah.
Like, I'm the Nazi. You know what I mean? I'm the true white supremacist. You know, and people don't, I mean, it's just such an ugly thing. And I think especially people who their whole lives have this like egomaniacal God complex because, you know, they have, you know, university degrees and they're of the educated classes, all of this. I mean, that is a very long way to fall, you know, to realize that, oh my God, I'm a monster, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and it's just, and it occurred to me because I'm like, why would somebody want to hold on to such an evil belief, you know, in the face of all the evidence that they're wrong? Like, why? And then you know, last night I went to sleep thinking, what do they have to lose? And then this morning I was like, oh, that's what they have to lose, you know? And then they have to confront their complicity in killing other people. You're complicit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're complicit in the 600% rise in suicide. You're complicit in people dying all alone, not even knowing what's going on with this coronavirus. You're complicit in, you know, kids basically losing a full year of education. You're complicit in people losing their homes and their livelihoods and their businesses. You're complicit, you know? But, you know, so it's like they just hold, I mean, it's just like these, you know, stubborn, I don't know, like crazed, what's that word that oh my God, the dogs get?
Rabid?
Yeah, there's a rabid, yeah. It's like you're
Rabidity.
like this rabid Rottweiler, and it's like you just can't let go. Like you're
Yeah.
I mean, it's terrible. And I'm looking at these comments, and people are literally, and it's just a repeat of 2016. People are talking about, oh, I'm going to leave the country. I'm giving up my citizenship, blah, blah, blah. They won't. They never did. They never will. You know, but they're just trauma bonding together.
Yeah. And getting off on the hate. I'm like, who? Like, you know, like I was telling you when I would drive Lyft, and you know, when I was driving Lyft, I'd be like, hi, what's going on? My life is lousy because Trump is president. I was like, damn, like, I'm like, all right. Like, I didn't know, I don't revolve my life around politicians. And, I was listening to, I don't know if you got a chance to listen to it. I sent it to you, but there was this really good interview it was really sobering to me, with David Avocado Wolf and Sasha Stone. Sasha Stone is involved in like exposing the pedophilia, and he's done some other stuff. I don't know exactly what. I don't remember exactly what. But David Avocado Wolf is just he's actually a raw. He was a raw fetus. I would say he's a health freedom activist. But anyway, they're pretty well-known people, and they were kind of like, you know, talking about stuff, and he was saying that his friend was reading a book, and he was talking about the most psychopathic professions, and that people are drawn to, or the professions that draw the most psychopaths. And number one is politics. He said number two was like journalism, and I thought that was really interesting. You know, I can see politics for sure. Because, you know, people want, either it can draw good people too, but those people really don't seem to make it that far, because the system is so corrupt, and the system is built upon people stepping on top of each other to get to the top. So you basically,
more corruption.
You basically have to throw other people under the bus in order to make it to the top. And it's the way it's structured. I mean, it could be a system where people did work together to solve problems. But then if you think about it too, then why do we have two sides? You know, why can't we just have people in Congress, and then people in and then you vote for the people that you like? You know, everybody kind of gets a fair shake of like their ideas and how they want to fix society. And then now but they play us against each other like these teams. And I think that there is a spectrum, you know, one having a leftist mentality and one having a right. But I think that we have to have balance. And for right now, this point in history, the left is way off of balance. You know?
Oh yeah, and it's like it's the perverted. It's like the underbelly of the left.
Yeah.
Because people who like originally the left was like the liberals, like the liberal free thinkers, the most creative. It's so funny. It's like that's where you find your creative types, the people who are willing to take risks and experiment and try something new. And it's not like that anymore. The left has literally been taken over by fascism, and then they're going around pointing the finger saying people on the right are the fascists, and people on the right are just trying to hold this country together. You know?
Yeah.
And it's like, I think that the natural structure is for there to be two parties. I mean, I think that's natural. Just, you know, there's male, female, and they're opposites.
Yeah, there's yin and yang, right? Like negative, like emotional. Like yin is more emotional. Yang is more logical.
Is more rational.
Yeah, we need both, but they can't be
supposed to complement each other.
Yeah.
Like the way, if it's a healthy system, they complement. They consult with each other. They balance each other out. One is one type of thinker, the other is the other type, and then they take the best of both types of thinking. I mean, that's the healthy. But it's like what we have is like the most unhealthy, most degraded version.
Yeah.
And it just seems like I said, I feel like on the right they're just trying to hold things together for dear life to prevent, because on the right is the only place where the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, and the Bill of Rights are alive. Those documents are alive with right. And if Biden wins, they're trying to get rid of it all.
Yeah.
Like the Democratic Party has been bought out by China, 100%. It's like it's the Chinese Communist Party basically running the Democrats, and Biden and Obama and the Clintons, and it even began with the Bushes. They sold us out. It began with the Bushes.
And it's like,
you know?
even, I know I keep going back to my video, but like my uncle got mad and he said that my video was propaganda, but I'm like, I put the Bushes in there. I'm not,
Yeah.
you know, like they're in there too. I'm not saying, I don't think that both sides are, I don't think it's just, I think in right now, because, you know, of what's going on, I think the Democratic Party is corrupt. I'm not even saying the supporters. I'm not really ragging, the leadership, right? But,
the leadership,
but the Bush, I criticize the Bushes too. I've been, been doing I've had this podcast, you know, since 2010, no, 11. But I've always criticized the Bush. I've always criticized the Republicans.
Yeah.
So if I criticize anybody who I don't think is doing right, you know, who's not for the people. And that's how it should be. And it's sad that, you know, there are conservatives that let certain people slide on this side that need to be called out too.
Yeah.
And even maybe, you know, Trump could be called out in some instances, you know, if it was like legitimate, but because the accusations are so far-fetched and so baseless and not based on evidence that it's like that just goes over people's heads. Because it's like they're making the stuff that they're criticizing about, they're making stuff up. Like the whole Russia thing, that was all based on hearsay and as evidence. Where you have the Joe Biden thing, you know, I've seen they have the receipt of Hunter Biden signing at the shop. They have video evidence of stuff that was on the laptop. There are public pictures of him in China, and then they, you know, him and his father in China with, you know, high government officials and business owners, you know. But it's like, you know, they'll say, oh, well, Trump had a bank account in China. Well, he has, he does business all over the world.
2015.
He closed it.
He closed it in 2015,
He closed it before he became president. But even before then, you know, he's allowed to do that. He wasn't a president then. And his business is he opens up, he's in the hospitality business. So he has hotels and buildings all over the world. So you're allowed to do that. You know, but what is Biden like? He doesn't have hotels and other businesses outside of the country. So what is he doing consorting with these people, right? I mean, there's public proof of that. So then
I've been saying that the media is owned and controlled with a couple of exceptions by the left and has been for decades, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so what it's like they keep playing. It's like what do you call it? They keep gaslighting us.
Yeah.
And unless you're willing to just ask people questions and find out who they are, you're not going to know, because the media is just this steady, unrelenting stream of white people are racist, Trump is a racist, you know, and people don't question it, and then they only talk with people who are just like them, and then they trauma bond together.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Over this stuff. And I mean, I just decided a very long time ago, I'm not falling for that, because that is mental slavery for me. You know, as a Black person, I really don't need to walk around thinking that all white people hate me, and that if they could get away with killing me, they would. That is such a trauma on the mind, and it shuts things down. Like, I need to have as much mental focus and self-confidence and, you know, to get done what I need to do in life. And that is like, it's a psychological manipulation. It's extremely, extremely abusive. If a parent does that, like sometimes, like if a parent does that to a child, then the family needs some major counseling. And sometimes the child is taken away from the parent just for the child's protection, you know. And so we have this media that's owned by one side, which is really owned by China right now. Totally taken over, and it's psychologically abusing the American people. And it's like the more a person sees themselves as good, the more susceptible they are to that propaganda and that mind control. But I think generally people who are like more spiritual, or they're not atheistic, or they're more religious, tend to go, you know what? And like you were saying the other day, you know, I think I'm a good person. I want to be a good person, but I acknowledge that I have the capacity for evil. And so I need to check myself. And often on the Democratic side, many people are atheists, and they quote unquote believe in science, and they don't believe that evil exists. So they can't recognize the evil within themselves. because they're like, I'm the good one, I'm the technological one. And they look down on people who are like farmers and ranchers. They work with their hands. They look down on the mechanics.
That basically serve them and build the stuff that they use. that they would be nothing without, Okay.
Yeah, they have God complexes. I mean, that's it. I mean, it's biblical. You can look in the scriptures, but they have God complexes because they worship technology. Yeah. And they're so far removed from nature. And if the energy grid were to go down, they would last maybe a week, and then it would be over. They would either go insane or kill somebody or be killed.
Or eat their iPhones.
You know what I mean?
Or yeah, they just wouldn't, or they'd starve because they get all of their stuff from Whole Foods and they don't know how to grow anything. So they don't know how to hunt. They don't know how to hunt. They don't know how to be self-sufficient. But I wanted to bring it back because when you were talking, it gave me a thought. And I was looking at when you were talking about it's not healthy for you to be in a state of like paranoia and thinking that half of the country hates you. And this is where they're trying to keep us. So I found this little diagram of the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And in order, so at the top, I don't know if you can see it from where you're, because there's probably like a little lag from where you're behind for our viewers. At the top of the pyramid is where we can have morality, creativity, spontaneity. We can solve our problems, right? Problem solving, lack of prejudice, acceptance of facts. But if you're at the bottom, right? So maybe say let's say this society right now, we have most of our physiological needs met unless you're homeless, right? We can breathe, we have food and water, maybe we're getting sex, maybe we're getting enough sleep, healthy homeostasis. We're our body's healthy, right? But then you go up to the next tier and it says safety, right? And then security of body, employment, of resources, morality of the family, of health, of property. This is where they have us stuck. And we can't move forward. So if you're in this mindset that everything is out to get you, even though most of the country voted for Obama twice, but you still think that everybody in the country is racist and everybody's just. I haven't seen one crazy ass white supremacy, and I live in Texas. Okay, I haven't had one incident. I have many black friends and Mexican friends. I'm sure that those people are out there. I haven't seen it. They're not like running rampant like the news media.
There was one guy once. A long time ago, he was a neo-Nazi, and his daughter was in the same preschool as my kids, and I encountered him twice, and like his energy was so foul and intense, I broke out into sweat, and I thought I was going to vomit. Well, I felt like I was going to empty out from both ends simultaneously. That's how much he scared me.
Yeah.
But that was it. And then there's another guy at like the neighborhood grocery store, but he was insane. He was like certifiably, you could tell he was insane, and he followed me around. But other than that, no. And my ex, his parents live in the countryside, and everybody, they wave. You're in the Texas countryside. You pass a car, people wave at you. You go to the corner store, people are very friendly and welcoming, and everybody wants to make small talk and know everything about you. I mean, people are so friendly. And it's so funny, especially people from the coast don't understand this, and they have a culture shock when they come here.
Yeah.
But Texas literally means friendly, and people, especially native Texans, are very friendly, welcoming people.
Yeah, it's my
and they also tend to be more conservative. But I've noticed that the people that I've gotten the cold shoulder from here, they tend to be leftists. They tend to be, for the most part, like very closed and very arrogant,
very
just closed-minded and arrogant. And, I mean, for the not all, but these stereotypes are killing this country, like pushing out these stereotypes. And the very same people who keep posting about how people on the right are so, they're horrible Nazi racist people. Well, would you like for people to be saying that about you?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're a black woman. Do you want white people to say all black women are, bitches and hoes, and they must be like pole dancers and
they're dumb as rocks.
You know what I mean?
And, just stuff like
that.
And
then even if those women do that, I mean, it's for survival. Still, I mean, if you're approaching people with the heart of Christ, right? Still, you're going to take each person as they come and refrain from putting them on a hierarchy and saying, oh, you're less valuable because of what you do or what you look like, you know?
Yeah. And it's funny, there's this guy in the chat right now as you're speaking, and you know, there are people saying, oh, don't feed him, he's a troll. But I'm going to make a note of this. So, you know, when Trump wins, I'm going to laugh at this dude. But he's just basically projecting everything that is wrong with the side that he's on, you know. And, of course, he has a fake name, or she has a fake name. Of course, they don't have a picture because these cowards never, you know, they come and they say mean things. They never have the courage to be honest. You know, I'm putting my face out there every day. You know, I'm putting my voice out so people know what I look like. I don't hide behind anything. But, of course, it's those people, just like the Klan did, right? Just like the Klan did. It's like these people in these chats and that come on these, like, forums and stuff. They have a fake name and they don't hide themselves. And I mean, they do hide themselves, but they, you know, try and be all high and mighty. Well, if you're high and mighty, why don't you show us your name and why don't you show us what you look like, you know? But he's getting everybody all riled up in the comment section. I'm just like, this guy's a loser. And I'm just like, I can't wait. It's going to be funny. And he's like, oh, he's saying all this stuff, but no proof, right? Of course, they don't have proof. It's just hearsay. And it's a little bit comic, but it's not really comic anymore now because people are talking about they want to kill themselves. They want to, like, these media lies are just crazy. And like, I'm putting up the Maslow's hierarchy of needs diagram again, but you know, they have us down on the bottom of this tier, so we can't get to self-actualization, right? They're messing with our, you know, our sense of safety. The next tier is love and belonging, which is friendship, family, and sexual intimacy. So that goes on how they are they're ripping up relationships, right? So if they're ripping up our relationships, you know, if my uncle believes the media over his own, and my brother believes the media over their own kin, right? So now our families are broken up. Yeah. And now, you know, then that makes people feel alone when they're, you know, relationships I've heard have been broken up at like a record number. Oh, yeah. You know, friendships, you know, we constantly talk about how we've had to reevaluate.
I'm at the point where I feel like, okay, why don't we just like split the country down the middle? You know what I mean? Or split each state in a half, like down the middle. And if you want to live in a Democrat, what the Democrats want, go. You can go. And then, you know.
But it already is kind of, though.
And we'll just see. Like, we'll just see.
Well, it already is, though. But I mean, no. I mean, I think right now at this point, you know, it's really like the coast have that mentality, you know. The coast of the country. That's why, you know, they look down on people in the middle and in the South because, so, I mean, it already is. And then a lot of those people, you know, people are moving from California in record numbers, you know. Yeah. But, you know, I don't know how many realize it's because of the policies that they voted. And these evil people, they need our consent to some degree, you know. Wait, where am I? Oh, I need to turn this off. Sorry, I'm just like, they need our consent to some degree in order to pass these laws and to get their legislation, because if we just voted, they wouldn't have a chance, you know.
But they get our consent through the propaganda, and the propaganda
but it's manipulation.
Race.
It's not honest. It's not honest consent. It's not an honest consent, and race is the divide and conquer, and this is the thing that they've used to traumatize everybody for centuries. You know, and I know you travel a lot too, but you know it's different in different countries too. So right now, because of slavery, you know, they're able to really polarize people through the black and white issue, and then if you're any other race other than that, you just kind of have to pick a side and see, you know, what side you kind of lean on. But you know, they do that with you know, divide and conquer. They do that with Asian countries. There are Asian people, you know, we may not be able to tell Asian people apart, but culturally, and Asian people do look different if you know the ethnicities and you know the culture and stuff. But, you know, you call like a Chinese person, a Korean person, they'll like bitch slap you. You know what I mean? You call a Japanese person.
Even like an English people and Irish people are very distinct from each other, and they're distinct from Welsh people, but people don't know that. Like Scandinavians,
I know.
Very distinct look, but
Africans too. Like Africans, exactly. But I'm just saying.
I've been in some I've been in some countries where everybody was staring at me because I looked so different. There's countries I've been in where
You mean in Africa?
Everybody was just.
You mean in Africa?
Yeah.
Okay, Africa. Yeah,
Yeah.
because people need to, because people need to know, understand. Like, okay, yeah,
Yeah,
you
and
know what I
they're
mean.
trying to figure out where is she from, like, you know, because it's like my height, my build, my what is it, facial structure, my hair texture, my color. It's so different, you know.
Yeah.
But you know, and I'm like looking at everybody in fascination because I'm like, wow, you know. But yeah, it's like people, I just don't understand. This is so frustrating because I have shared consistently information with people, like most of my friends, my close friends who are white are actually Republicans and they're conservatives. And the ones that my friendships that have lasted over the decades, right? And I sometimes I just make me feel literally sick to be in a room or to see, like, on social media, my friends on the left describing them as subhuman. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It hurts. It really hurts because they're incapable of just acknowledging, okay, these people they think that they have an idea of how we should govern ourselves, right?
Yeah.
Govern ourselves, not be governed, but we govern ourselves. They have different ideas, but that doesn't make them evil, you know, worthy of death, worthy of being, you know, locked up and throwing away the key, worthy of being called like the most filthy names with so much hatred. And I know that I'm not saying that it's only from the left, because I remember when Obama was running, there was a lot of that. Humans are humans. There was a lot of that sentiment against Obama from the right.
Yeah.
A little bit of it was racial, but most of the animus towards Obama was because of his socialist and communist leanings.
Mm-hmm.
That's why, like, most people on the right didn't hate him because he was black. They hated him because he was taking the country in a socialist direction.
Yeah. And we've been so traumatized and brainwashed that a lot of people can't even make that distinction. So they just automatically think if somebody criticized Obama, it was because of his race. And interestingly enough, that's what we want, right? We want to be judged by the content of our character, not the color of our skin. But a lot of black people still seem to gravitate toward that, you know? But listen, Anange, let me get to this other caller.
Okay.
And I'll call you later today. All right?
It's good talking to you.
Okay, you think.
Bye.
Thanks for calling. Bye-bye. All right, next people, I'll try and speed up. Next person, 512-481-7464. OLP, I'll pray for you, dude. I'll pray for you. I ain't got time for you no more. I got time for you. But see how I'm nice and how I'm not blocking you. I'm letting you show yourself, and I'm letting you, I'm letting you show what an idiot you are, right? See, that's why freedom of speech is. As long as you're not being abusive and attacking people, I'm good with you spreading your lies and your ignorance, because it makes you look idiotic, and it's kind of funny. I'm like, okay. 512-481-7464. Where is the? Where's the 512-481-7464? All right. So who's cheating? Chat, who's cheating? Who's cheating, chat? Which side is cheating? Okay, well, let me show you guys something while we're waiting for some more calls to come in. Last night, I was looking at, I like the political map. The left, 100%. The left. LP, what do you think? Do you think it's the right that's cheating? I'm sure you do. Let me guess. 512-481-7464. I'm LP. Does LP stand for lost person? I think I'm gonna just call LP lost person. Lost person. Loser person or loser person. LP stands for loser person. Hey, loser person. Who's cheating? Oh, no one's cheating because you're getting the results that you want. you're getting the optics that you want. So this is interesting, right? Check this out. Let me see if I can pull this up. How do I do this? I'm like 512-481-7464. All right, I pinned the number to the top, y'all. Yo, 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 I pinned the number to the top. So let me see. Oh, I don't know if I can do this. Okay. Let me see if I can add another. Okay, let's see. So by calling 512-481-7464. 512-481-7464. Let me see. So basically, I was trying to pull this up. I took some screenshots of the political map. I actually like that map the best because you can toggle, and I don't know, I just think they display their information best, and then they have this feature at the bottom where you can toggle to see who wins what state and what results, right? They basically just put, okay, which is crazy. They just basically put the votes, they're pausing the votes basically, probably because Trump is winning and they're freaking out and they're trying to supplement the votes, right? So, you know what though? I just like these assholes. This is great because it's going to expose the fraud, and when they get caught, you know, it's going to be even more glorious because there are going to be even more people that will be aware of the voter fraud. And for the people that are saying that the Democrats is trying to steal, the Republicans are trying to steal the election, you know, there's no evidence of that. There's all the evidence points, like at the videos I showed, you know, this one guy was like, oh, well, if the Republicans watch it, of course they're going to think that. Okay, smart ass, well, show me the video where the Republicans are caught undercover faking votes. There's so many of the Democrats doing that. There's so many, right? And the fact that they want open borders, they didn't want voter IDs. They were going around saying voter IDs was racist. They were trying to, you know, make it so people, you know, black people, they're, you know, Army Horowitz did that thing where he went to white liberal people and they were saying stuff like black people are, you know, they don't know how to get to the DMV and they're dumb and they're like, you know, they need help and they don't have computers in their neighborhood and that's why it's racist. And I'm just like, and then he went to the black neighborhoods and he showed them what the white people were saying about them. And they're like, these people are crazy. Like, what are they talking about? They're like, of course I have ID. Of course I know how to use a computer. Of course, you know, but it was just so insulting. That's what the left, they think black people are pets, you know? Like all this stuff with COVID, you know, how Twitter is selectively blocking, you know, conservative information, but not blocking leftist information. That's election interference, technically, you know. That's election interference. So, I mean, Jack Dorsey just got caught in his testimony, and they brought up instances. You know, they didn't when they were trying to put Trump's personal information, his business information, tax information up. They didn't block that. You know, that comes in the same category of what they're claiming they're blocking with Biden information. You know, they're not allowing anybody to post anything against the election, you know. Oh, because we can't think for ourselves? My cousin was telling me this morning that I should watch The Social Dilemma. And I'm just like, you know what? Their message starts off good at first, but then it really is biased because they're basically trying to say how people can be influenced. And I'm glad that we have social media because if we didn't have social media, they would be able to get away with this shit. And they're not going to get away with it. I'm just pissed that they're going to make us, you know, it's like they're punishing us. It's a peasant's revolt. This is definitely a peasant's revolt. And let me see if anybody's calling. Oh, it's a peasant's revolt. And they're punishing us. How dare you vote for the people you want? And you need to vote for the people that we want, and so we can control them and we can keep you your slaves. My friend that just called was saying that she was reading the Democratic Party platforms and the Republican platforms, and the Democratic platforms, they refer to the American people as our people, and the Republican platforms refer to the American people as the people. So think about that, okay? I believe words and language really is powerful, and if you say something. So it's like they have this idea that they own us, right? And then the other side, the Republican side, is more like, we serve you. We serve you. They're supposed to serve us. They're supposed to serve the people, not own us, not control us, right? 512-481-7464. Who's cheating? Who's cheating? Yeah, I never really, like, somebody says, I unsubscribe from Fox News. They have become just as bad. I don't really like Fox either. I like certain people on Fox. I like Tucker because he's really just taught me how to debate people. And he has a lot of knowledge that, I may have not known about certain things if it wasn't from him. So I learn a lot from him. And I like and he's the only person that would have people on that he disagrees with, but because he's so knowledgeable, he just lets them destroy themselves because they're just so ignorant and so just tunnel visioned that. But yeah, I'm not even like, and it's funny, people accuse me of like just watching. I was like, I don't even watch Fox. And if Tucker went somewhere else, like I said, I like Laura Ingraham too. There are a couple people I like on there on Fox News that work for Fox News. But if they like were to leave Fox News and start their own stuff, I would just follow them and not watch Fox News ever again. So yeah, we're trying to win. Hey, people that say that the Republicans, please show me your proof, show me your evidence, and don't make up lies. Don't make up wishful thinking. Don't pull stuff, up your ass and just, And 512-481-7464. I think I had somebody calling in, and they probably got mad because I was on the phone last time with the caller too long. But 512-481-7464. The number's at the top, y'all. All right, so let's just talk in the chat. I got started a little late with the talking and the calls because I wanted to show some clips today. But if I start to get calls in, I'll go a little bit over 12 o'clock because I technically have about 30 minutes. So if anybody wants to call in, you should start calling in now. I was trying to, okay, so I took some screenshots and I can't figure out with this program how to put the screenshots on here for you guys. But maybe I could, I bet you as soon as I do this, somebody's going to call. But that's how it goes, right? Let me see. So basically, I'll just say what I did. This was like, what time was it? I took a screenshot. It was at 11 p.m. Central Time. And it says, major battlegrounds are still up for grabs, but they might not be called tonight. How do they know? And this is before, actually. I mean, I took that screenshot in, but I saw that before. And then I looked at the map, and at the time, Wisconsin was leading, Michigan was leading, Maine was leading, but then it turned to blue. Nevada was up 70%. Red, and then that turned to blue. Texas was red. We knew that. I don't even think that California won by that much. One of my friends and I were talking. We were looking at Virginia, and actually, like if you put your mouse over the Virginia, it showed that like Trump was ahead. The numbers showed that Trump was ahead, but they already claimed the state of Virginia as winning, even though Trump was ahead. So, they're just, counting their fake votes. They're dead people that they're using to votes. They're mail-in ballots. They're using their software technology. We all knew that they were going to try this stuff. But, this isn't when I think the spirit of America is alive. And, I'm not even entertaining the thought that we're going to lose. I'm just pissed that they're dragging it out and they're obviously cheating. And there's more evidence to point that they're obviously cheating than they're not. And anybody that thinks so is just they're just basically in fantasy illusion world, and they're making up. They're kind of delusional. They're delusional, and they're just hoping that that's the case. So, and I was looking. Check this out, y'all. I was looking at I was looking at the 2000. I think I can pull up now. If you guys want to call, the number is up on the shit. No. Ah, there we go. Okay, this is a 2016 election map, right? And let me see if I can move it up a little bit, right? So this is what happened in 2016, right? Hillary, let me see if I can move this over a little bit. Hillary, Hillary, I can't, let me see if I can make it smaller. Let me see, make it a little smaller, make it fit. How's that? Is that a little better? Can it go down a little bit? All right, so yeah, so you can see it, so you can see it a little better, right? Like, oh, now that's too small. Oh no, it's too small. It keeps going. Oh no. What did I do? What did I do? Let's do that. Maybe about 67%. Let's see. Did it come up? Anyway. Come on. Come on. What happened? What did I do? So anyway, I was looking at the map. And here we go. From 2016, let me see, election results, election results. Okay, there we go. Okay, so I was looking at the map, and this is what the map looked like in 2016. And I know that there's so many, Trump has so much more support, right? So now as it stands, Wisconsin is blue, Michigan is leaning blue, Michigan's leaning blue. Last night, 2016, Arizona is red, but now it's blue. Let's see what the results are now. So Arizona's blue, Nevada's leaning blue. I took a screenshot. Well, I don't know. Anyway, Nevada was like red by a lot, okay? Florida and Texas are one. Virginia, like I said, that I toggled on that, and it was blue, but Trump was in the lead, but it still said blue. So now they're fighting over Pennsylvania, Georgia, and North Carolina. Those are the states that they're fighting over. I hope that they not only challenge these states that they're fighting over, I hope they challenge the other states, because I don't even think that California won by that much. Maybe Colorado, maybe New Mexico. I don't think Arizona won by that much. Well, Arizona won. It wasn't that much of a margin, but I'm not surprised about Washington, Oregon. Just from what my friends are telling me and what I see going on in California, I think there were way more people that were voting for him, right? They're still counting Alaska? Really, dude? Really? Okay. So they basically paused the votes. They're probably just trying to see how they're going to swing this thing. But I'm hoping in the process, the election fraud will get caught. Is somebody calling? Somebody calling? Nobody's calling. Nobody loves me. I'm just kidding. All right, here we go. Check this out. And this is the 2016. So compared to this, let me see. Wisconsin, yeah, Michigan. Everything else was pretty much red. The only changes was like Arizona, which is now turned blue. I'm suspicious of that. Nevada, which was turning red, but now is blue and blue again. California, I don't know, really, this area is expected to be blue. This area is supposed to be expected to be blue. Maine was actually turning red last night, but now it's blue. So I hope they challenge all the states. I hope they challenge, and I remember when, do you guys remember the recount, when Jill Stein did the recount, and they were trying to recount the votes and saying that Trump cheated, and and they're like, oh, we need to recount because Trump's a cheater. We think that and then they actually found more votes that were suppressed, that were Trump suppressed, that were suppressed in favor of Trump instead of, and I didn't really care at the time. I was really neutral because I didn't vote for Trump last election. So like I said, I know so many people that have voted for Trump that are black. A lot of people. I know one guy who's black who's a Trump supporter, and he doesn't even want to tell his family. He's scared that his sister is going to disown him because he's a diehard leftist. You know, I mean, she's a diehard leftist, but his sister is going to disown him. All right, guys, you got about 15 minutes because if nobody's calling in, then I will end at 12. But if I start to get calls, I'll stay a little bit longer. So does anybody want to call in? The number's at the top. News. I hate political. Yeah, I hate political too, but I just think that their map is very it's very interactive. Whoever designed their map did a really good job. So nothing against the person that designed the map, but yeah, political as a news source, yeah. You know, a man can't be disowned by his sister. She's lower than him. Well, yay, I got somebody calling. Hello. Who's this? Who's waiting? Who's cheating?
Hey, B, how you doing?
Hey, Johnny, who's cheating?
Oh, man, I tell you, I think it's all part of the plot. They want to keep stirring that pot up and keep us all against each other, you know, divided, and that way they can come in and conquer it. And if they really give this thing to Joe Biden, man, we're in for a tough 4 years, and then I think maybe that's their plot. Maybe
I don't even think he's going to make it through the next 4 years.
What?
He's not going to make it through the next 4 years. Kamala's going to be...
Well,
it's going to be Kamala.
Right. I mean, you know, they know that when they installed them or you know, put them in the running, and, you know, it's like anybody with any logic would see that this guy cannot govern anymore. He's just deficient in all matters, plus the corruption that they've actually proven. But, you know, hey, when you got a deep state and the FBI is sitting on top of information and they're not doing their job and everything else, it's like we're in some scary times right now, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
But, you know, you got to be tough. You got to tough it out. And unfortunately, I think it's going to open the door for some, you know, if Trump still has some cards up his sleeve, I'm sure, you know, with how close this election is, and maybe it can be contested and recounted or whatever. I mean, we're not going to find out for a while, and I'm sure they're going to do something. But, you know, what does that do? It just keeps us more divided. And then it's like, okay, even if Trump gets in, it's like, does this open the door up for some, maybe a third party finally, or some new parties? But then, you know, if that happens, then what, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. I think he's getting in. I'm going to be, like, insanely, overly, like, psychotically optimistic about the outcome. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. You know what I mean? But I'm just, like, you know, it's, but I know that they're cheating. I know they are. And there's evidence. They've been talking about it. I don't think so. I think though that the administration, and because of all these 4 years and all of the shenanigans that has happened, I think that they expected this to happen. You know, evil doesn't take a day off. They're not gonna excuse me. Evil doesn't take a day off. They're not gonna what do you call it? You know, stop. They're not gonna give in so easily. So I just wanted a resolution, you know, to stuff that was going on. So I'm hoping they're not going to just challenge the states that are up for the debate. I hope they challenge the whole election, because I don't even understand how the Democrats won the House, you know, and now it's a toss up in the Senate.
Like you say, they were cheating, especially in California. I mean, it's like open legal cheating with this ballot harvesting and everything else. It's like, what is wrong with just people, instead of like you said, all these mail-in votes and all this corruption, just go to the polls. They open up, a week or more early. You can go early, you can do this, you can do that. I'm up in Milwaukee here, and I happen to catch the late-night news, and at like 11 o'clock at night, they said they won't be done counting the mail-in and/or I think it's absentee ballots here until 4 o'clock or 4 o'clock in the morning. It's like, dude, you guys were counting from 7 o'clock, you know, election day. It's like, what takes so long? It's like, is this just a fix? And then, you know, I believe there's somebody out there that made the quotation of, you know, it isn't who wins, it's who's counting the votes.
Yeah. Well, you know what, Johnny? You're a God-fearing man, right?
You what?
You're a God-fearing man, right?
A God-fearing man? I'm a God-loving man.
Okay. A God-loving man.
Right now.
Yes, okay. You're a God-loving man. Okay, so, look, dudes, I mean, don't call you dude, but I mean, like, all we can do, we've done what we can do. If you believe in praying, you know, that's all we can do. Just praying or sending good energy.
Well,
you know, we just have to, like, let it go and just believe that the outcome, and I know that sounds like corny and cheesy to some people, but it's not. Like, I was worried and I was antsy and I was calling my friends up and I was like, oh my God, and then I was just like, you know what, why am I putting myself through this?
Amen.
You know, all I can do is just let it go and get on with my life. And I have faith. Like, I know that the media has lied about him and his supporters. I know what we want. All we want, you know, they're trying to make us out to be like these crazy, violent people, but all we want, you know, we want jobs. We want a good economy. We want, freedom. We want our Constitution intact. That's all we want. You know, we're not in anything sinister. That's it. That's all we want. You know?
You want the American dream, and they're taking that away from us.
Yeah.
And they've been working at this for probably over a decade, you know?
Over a decade,
probably since the corruption of the bubble bursting when Clinton signed the paperwork to allow people to the people that don't even have to show their income can buy houses up to 125% of assessed value. And there was so much corruption going on. And who went to jail? Nobody. And then they sucked all that money out of it. You know, they're just printing money like crazy. I'm telling you, get ready for, I would say, an economic downturn that's going to really pit people against each other. And I believe this is all part of their plan, you know.
Well, I think that's a plan, but I'm not going to speak it into existence, and it's not going to happen. And then in a few months, you'll call me back, Johnny, and you're like, Verstine, you were right. It didn't happen. I'm so happy that you were. I'm so happy that I was wrong.
Amen. I hope so. You know.
But you're prepared. You're prepared. So you're good.
Did you ever check out that Brendan O'Connell's YouTube channel? I sent you some stuff on your email.
No, not yet. Not yet. I'm just so overwhelmed, Johnny. I'll get to it though. I promise.
Yeah,
let me take.
Very informative, but I'm up at the lake winterizing it for now. It's going to be next season until I get back up here. But amen, sister. Like you say, take a breath. Don't let it wreck your life. And
yeah, for sure. I'll
we'll talk to you.
Oh yeah, take this next caller. Okay, bye, Johnny. Hello.
Hello, Christine.
Hey, what's up? Who's this?
Hey, this is Marco.
Hey, Marco.
From Washington. Hey, how you doing today?
Good. Are you're a new caller? I don't think I've heard you before, Marco, or have I?
Yeah. I've been following you on the YouTube for a while. You know, I like your perception on a lot of things.
Oh, thank you.
And I want to talk about the music industry.
Oh yeah. Well, okay. First, I gotta ask you. I gotta stick to the topic a little bit. I would just ask you: do you believe anybody's cheating, or who's cheating? Which side is committing election fraud?
Definitely on the left. I have no doubt about it.
All right, I'm not gonna hang up on you. I'm just kidding. Even if you believe the opposite, I'm still open to a conversation, so that's cool. Okay, so what? Yeah. So what do you want to talk about the music industry?
Yeah, the music industry. I think it's one interesting point about when you have a question about what side is the agenda driven.
Mm-hmm.
Is check this out. Isn't it funny how all the major pop music icons that have passed away in like the past 20 years? Isn't it interesting how they've all been pushing this agenda that we know exists now? And they are the ones who shaped the past, the recent past, like 20, 25 years that we're living in now. So all of the vanguards, you know, Michael Jackson, Prince, Whitney Houston,
David
David Bowie,
Bowie, yeah.
well, you name it, they're all gone.
Yeah.
And it's not just because of age, or because you'd think that they were rich, right? They could afford good health care. So it's not like they were poor on the street.
Mm-hmm.
Even though you hear about Michael Jackson, they all had issues with their publishing. And their publishing companies.
And you know what? I mean, I'm not condoning Michael Jackson if he was a pedophile or not. He's been in this industry since he was a kid, so he was probably severely abused. Maybe MK Ultra, I've heard, I don't know how true this is, but I heard that, I don't know if you know this, I'll try and sum this up, but a lot of the MK Ultra victims with the mind control, they get severely raped and physically abused when they're kids, and to the point where their mind split, so they have a split personality. And when they start later in life, those personalities converge and they start to remember a lot of the abuse, because they get abused so severely, they don't remember a lot of the abuse, and then they develop a whole another personality to deal with that abuse. And because of that, they can be programmed. So when their personalities start to merge, and they start to remember a lot of the stuff. I've heard, so basically in Michael Jackson's case, I've heard some people say that Michael Jackson was actually going to start talking about this stuff, and he was going to start talking about it at his concerts and stuff. And because he's world famous, Michael Jackson would have believed him. So he thinks that, and LaToya was talking about, his sister was talking about this stuff for years. And of course, and I feel bad like everybody else. I thought LaToya was crazy, but now she was sane. She was right, about a lot of this stuff. So I think he was murdered. I think Whitney Houston was murdered. Shaka Khan has a really good interview where she's talking about about the situation and how she died. And then, interestingly enough, her daughter, Whitney Houston's daughter, was murdered. I mean, she died. Then she died shortly after. And then Prince was. I don't know the whole story about Prince. I think he was murdered, but he was having issues with, like you said, he was trying to break away from his publishers. And then David Bowie had cancer, and I think he did the traditional treatment. I don't know the whole David Bowie, and I loved all of them, by the way. But I think that, a lot of these people too, they're sincere, or they're really good musicians, and they're just passionate, and they get into the music industry very young, and they ended up signing up for something that they're not really aware of what they're signing up for, and then they pay the price for it. I don't know, that's just my opinion.
Yeah, no, it's a good perspective, There's also, as you know, there's the occult angle. And to each one of them, they have a occult angle to their music and to their lifestyle, and that fed into the agenda.
Yeah.
That's why it's kind of hard to go back in time from the present, and because that thing that they were about in the past is now part of our mainstream. So we don't analyze it like, oh, they did this and they did that, and their image was doing this at the time. Because now it's just like it's normal. We're living now in a paradigm that they helped to set up.
Yeah, but I think I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I believe that that was by design to help us get to where we are now, to where the left can rip us off, and we just shrug it off.
Well, I think
it is part of it's part of a worldwide agenda, but it's played by certain actors.
Well, I think also too, you can't just necessarily say because they were part of the entertainment industry that they were wittingly a part of the agenda. Because if you look at Michael Jackson's music in general, it was very inspiring and very uplifting. You look at Beat It and Bad, right? It's about bullying. It's about standing up to bullies. The world. There's a song "Heal the World." Make it a better place. What is the other one? Or there were just love songs about him and women. Or there was what was the other one? They Don't Really Care About Us. That was when he was supposedly starting to wake up.
Isn't it funny how each time he came out with a song like that, there was massive protest.
Yeah,
If
like
you
people,
remember.
people, they tried to make him change his
every
lyrics.
time he had a controversial song or video,
Yeah.
the media was right on it, like, oh, how dare Michael Jackson do this? He's betraying his young fans doing all this controversial stuff. They had a pro and a con already set up
Yeah.
for when he did something to fight against the system.
If generally, I remember if I had to categorize Whitney Houston and Michael Jackson's music, I would say that they were more positive. I think some of David Bowie's and some of Prince's music was a little bit dark, but I'm not necessarily against making dark or music, because that's a part of the human experience too. Not everything has to be like candy and sunshines and rainbows, because people do get angry, people do experience hate, we do experience these things. But you have to look at who's over them, who's controlling the music, right? So who was and I heard David Bowie was like the nicest guy when it came to like working with new artists. He was very supportive of new artists. He wasn't jealous. He wasn't competitive. If he thought you were an up and coming artist, you were good. He would do his best to support people. So it's more it wasn't necessarily them. It was the people that was controlling them. So they got into it young. They were probably controlled. And then within their videos, right, there was artistic direction that kind of guided the agenda to a more negative thing. I would say if you look at to me, the most evil ones are Lady Gaga, Madonna. You look at their imagery, you look at their music, a lot of Lady Gaga. I like that song Telephone. I was looking at it a couple weeks ago, but it's about death and destruction. So you really have, yeah, I mean, at the time, before I woke up to all this, I was like, yeah, cool, they poisoned everybody in the restaurant. Everybody's dead, and they're dancing over their dead bodies. But then, you're like, wait a minute, what am I putting into my psyche? That's cool all the time. Maybe you can make a video where you're making a point and stuff like that, but all the time they're always talking about death and destruction and blood, and they're always wearing devil horns and having, devil symbology at their concerts. They're always debasing women and talking about
That's my point.
Yeah.
That's my point, is that the groundwork had been laid from the past. And now we're stuck with people like Nicki Minaj and all the other ones, and Lady Gaga, and they're going they're going into the future with what they were left with, and so the agenda, I don't know if it's finished or if this is what the controllers want now, but it seems like for them, it was all meant to be like this. And just for people who, like myself, who have lived back 20, 25, 30 years, we can look back and see the seeds of it were planted with people like Prince and Michael Jackson and Madonna, definitely.
Yeah. Well, but the thing is with the evil people, evil does not create, it imitates, it infiltrates, and it manipulates. So they need talented people like that to control and work through. They can't create. So they'll take somebody that has good intentions and then they'll manipulate it, right? So they lay the groundwork for the pop stardom. And then now, maybe even less. I think Lady Gaga actually is pretty talented. She can play instruments. She can sing. She can dance. Madonna really isn't that talented. She's a good dancer and a good performer, but she doesn't write her music. She doesn't, Katy Perry can sing. She's talented. Madonna can't sing. But they lay this groundwork for this pop imagery and this whole culture that now has been hijacked. And then you have somebody like what's the girl, Cardi B, who's not talented. She's pretty. She's smart. She's a good, but she's basically a high class prostitute. And she's promoting this, and it looks, goes bad on me. It perpetuates a stereotype for black women like me. I was looking at the latest,
and they made it that way to where a compromised person like Cardi B, because she has done evil, I tell you.
Yeah,
she can make it to the upper echelon because she's just the kind of person that they created.
Yeah, you know, I mean, it's like, you know, yeah, it's very sinister. I think it's gonna come crashing down though. I don't think it's not gonna last forever, you know? It's not. But anyway, I have another caller. Let me see if I can get a couple more people in.
Yeah, it's been good talking to you.
Thanks, Marco. No, you're totally on it though. Yeah, thank you. All right.
Have a good day.
Okay, you too. Next caller. Oh no, they hung up. Who was calling? Call back. I'll get you. I'll take 2 more callers. 512-481-7464. I'll call. They inject evil into our consciousness. Yeah. Very well put. Hello, who's this?
Hello, this is Denise. How are you?
Hey, Denise, how are you?
Good. I have one main question.
Yeah.
How can they call the House so quick, but yet they're not willing to call the presidency so quick?
Wait. Oh, I know, right? I thought about that too. But you know what? Maybe if they do recounts, they'll realize that they didn't even win the House. I was just like, I don't even understand how they got the House. Like, because of Nancy Pelosi's. I'm like, really? They really got the House? Really? Oh, shoot.
That's what I'm saying. Her teeth are falling out. They lie. All these lies are out there, but the media will not print anything negative about Joe Biden. They won't say anything about it. I had so many people on my media last night, and they kept, Chuck Todd was just so funny watching him melt before. Oh, no, I think we can get it. We just need 10,000 more votes here. We just need 10,000 more in different spots in Philadelphia. Just how they were saying, we just need 10,000, you know, and oh, you know, all Hollywood comes out at the last minute. Vote for Biden, vote for Biden. What did they have the nerve to say? Black people were underperforming for the Democratic Party.
Oh, they can suck it.
They said
they can suck it.
I'm not.
Yeah. But yeah, when
they just want black people to perform at the votes, and that's it. Just perform what?
Well, perform for people that don't have our best interest in mind. That you know, really okay. Black people are underperforming. I can't wait. No, they're gonna get found out. I woke up today, and it will be proven that they will cheat. So.
I have
yeah, I know. And there are people that are just like, they're like, oh, they're like, how? Like I was saying, this one person, I was saying, there's undercover footage of people talking about how they plan to, how they're committing election fraud, how they plan to commit from the Democratic side. I've seen nothing on the Republican side. And I also just, like I keep saying, I look at the rallies, I see the support that he has. I know that there's so many people that are afraid to say, I've seen Biden signs in Austin, but I don't see Trump signs, or people just don't have any signs out. But they're afraid because they don't want to get attacked by their psycho neighbors, you know? There's, did you see those letters that was sent in New Hampshire saying that, this one, there were many letters that were sent out, but one person was on the news and they got this letter saying you've been identified as a Trump supporter. Make sure you have fire insurance. You've been giving fair warning, and I'm just like, oh my God, you know, because they had a bunch of Trump signs and stuff on their house, and now you know anybody that had a Trump sign in the house in that area of. And it was in New Hampshire, got a letter saying that, like, you know, that basically threatening to burn their house down, you know.
You've got the yellow star on your shirt. Be warned.
Yeah, exactly. But I get the yellow star analogy.
That's the way it feels, and nobody can hear me. Nobody can hear me say that. I go, doesn't anyone see this? Doesn't anyone see the yellow star or the scarlet letter? You've been identified, you know, and just because you're of this group or whatever. I mean, how brilliant of the Democratic Party, the party of the KKK, the party of segregation, to actually, in the name of safety, convince black people they need to segregate. I mean, get a safe place.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
How that psychology works, you know, we want you guys over here, so we're going to convince you guys that you're in danger, so you guys will go get your safe spaces now. I mean, you saw the one college girl that stood up and said, if you're not a person of color, you need to leave.
Yeah.
Did you see that video?
No, wait, say that again. I missed. What was it?
There's a video of a college girl okay? She's African American or black or whatever they want to be called now. But she's standing up and she's giving a speech saying that if you're not a person of color, you need to leave this space because this is our safe space.
Well, it's sad that
And
people
this
live their
is
lives like
wrong.
that. Yeah, I mean, it sucks that people live their lives like that. It's unfortunate. I mean, I know that's a little bit of an understatement, but at the end of the day, I'm really glad that I don't have that mentality. I feel like I'm enjoying my life much more by not being paranoid and hating white people and being just as racist, to other people as I claim they're racist to me. I think those people are just losers. Like, they're just losers. I don't know if I think I said this.
You're underperforming. You're not going to pay attention, right?
Yeah,
Good.
we're underperforming, right? Like, they can suck it, dude. I'm like, see, this is what the caller before was talking about Hollywood, and this is why, a lot of people are done with Hollywood. This is why I'm trying to push my, I'm want to start my own music without Hollywood, because all these people are compromised. They have an agenda. You don't have any success in the Hollywood sphere unless you support their agendas and their favorite people, and it's like, if you dare have it, like all the poor people that have spent years building their careers in Hollywood that have made friends, they're automatically just been ousted and exiled, and their careers have been ruined and they're blacklisted because they dare like say their political leanings. And it's what's really like perplexing
for themselves.
Yeah, what's really perplexing to me is if somebody was like, if I've been told that a group of people is this way, but if I approach that person and I'm like, if I know somebody for years, but I found out that they're part of this group of people that I've been told is a bad person, then I would open my mind that maybe I was told the wrong things based on the fact that this person that I know that's now part of that group is a good person. Well, I'm like, oh, I know so-and-so's good, but I've been told that this group of people is bad. So, I've been told that Trump supporters are evil and racist, but my friend that I've known for 20 years just told me that they're a Trump supporter. Okay, well, I'm going to find out why, and maybe they're not all so bad. But it's just totally gone the opposite way, as, where I'm just like, people are like, I've known my niece her whole life. I've known my sister my whole life, but yet I found out she's a Trump supporter. Oh, she's a white supremacist. She's brainwashed. She's a crazy person. She's on the wrong side of history. Okay, don't even bother to ask me. Don't even look at any links that I send you. It's that, like, fuck all that. That's all out the window. Okay, well, this is where it becomes a spiritual war, because your pride and your ignorance and your arrogance is basically obliterating our relationship.
Exactly. I went through the same thing with my niece and everything, and it's like, she's the pro-choice and everything, and explaining to her she doesn't want to hear the fact that there's arms and legs being ripped off of a baby. It's not the woman's body being ripped apart. They don't want to hear the truth. No one wants to hear the truth.
Yeah.
They just want to attack you on whatever grounds they can because you do not think and believe as they do. But yet they don't realize that that's the path that leads to destruction.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like, another thing, we were talking about abortion the other day, but, they don't let people know that when they have abortions, the your susceptibility to cancer increases, your susceptibility to not have children in the future, to be barren increases.
Fear.
Huh?
Yeah, after my abortion, and it's funny that you say that because I never heard that thing about cancer, but I did end up with cervical cancer, and I fought that for 22 years.
Yeah, because of the hormonal imbalance in the body that's created when there's just sometimes I listened to this testimony of this woman that owned an abortion clinic, and it was really gruesome, and she was saying that, like, sometimes they don't get all of the baby out, so you have, like, part of the baby inside or like a piece, and that can turn, because anytime your body has like a foreign object in it, it can become cancerous or can create scar tissue, and that can, it can create it creates all these other health problems.
Yeah, women don't even want to hear the fact that they actually are supposed to, speaking of leaving pieces, they're supposed to piece every little part of the baby You know, and once they get that white matter coming out, that's the brain matter, and then they can piece the skull together.
Yeah.
But they're supposed to piece that baby together after.
Yeah, and
Nobody
they
wants to
don't a
talk
lot of
about
times. And don't, yeah, the testimony I was listening to, the woman, she was talking about that too, and she was like, yeah, they don't, you know, it's I don't know.
A blind abortion. When I learned that from Abby Johnson in January, I was like, dang, and that's exactly what it is. You're pregnant one day and you're not the next, and you don't know what the hell. They don't explain anything in the process. You're just a cattle led to the slaughter.
Yeah.
Exactly what it was like. I just felt like a cattle led to the slaughter. It's insane, the fact that they want to say that this is okay. Even after birth, they have the abortion. And it's insane that they say that this is okay.
Yeah.
It's like, but they, you know, a lot of these people don't even realize how far the abortion law goes. They just want to fight for a woman's right to choose.
Yeah, and it's not even that. Somebody just said that abortion gave me PID. I think, pelvic inflammatory. Is PID pelvic inflammatory disease?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, but they won't tell you all of it. They won't tell you all the negativities, the depression, everything else that you're going to face, the hormones. They come in, they do it, they get their tax dollars. And this was my fight with my niece. Man, you want to have it? You pay for it. Don't make me pay for it. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I know. Denise, let me get one more caller before I jump off. And
No,
okay.
Take care. Yep, have a good one.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. One more caller, you guys. 512-481-7464. Hey, let me call you back in a few minutes. I'm doing a live. Okay. I'm almost finished. My friend was calling. I know she's probably calling to talk about the election. Just all my friends. We're like, oh my God, this is crazy. This is crazy. This is crazy. I wonder if the Democrats are gonna cry again when they lose. I wasn't even, you know, I was like detached. My other friend's calling. My phone's been blowing up today, you guys, because of the election, man. This is just crazy. One more caller. Okay, you got 5 minutes. If nobody calls in 5 minutes, are you calling the right number? Because I don't see anybody calling. Call 512 here. It's at the top of the chat. 512-481 7464. Try that. 512-481-7464. See, I'm so nice. I pin it to the top, and then I also put it in the chat. I could be a total bitch and be like, it's at the top of the chat. Don't you guys look? Don't you guys know? But I'm not. I'm nice. Even with all the stress. 512-481-7464. I don't see anybody calling in. I have my Skype window up because it's a Skype number. I don't there's no blocking I pay my Skype bill. I don't know. I accidentally hid somebody's message. I'm sorry, because YouTube has been you know, they like censor. So I don't know whose message it was. I've been trying to like somebody will write a message and then YouTube will like grab it and they won't show it, and then I have to push show or hide, and I've been scrolling down and pushing show, but I accidentally pushed hide on one of them, and I don't know. So if you have a vote, if you have a comment that you don't think went through, because I've been pretty much making sure everybody's been heard, even if I don't agree. I'm even letting that loser dude in the chat, I'm letting him speak. You know, because he's just mad because he knows that, you know, he's losing. So he has to come on some thread that doesn't, or he or she or they have to come on some thread. You know, I mean, you know what? I'm not going to get mad. I've trolled some other people's. I don't stay on that long, though. I just kind of drop a couple links, and I don't stay for like 2 hours. I mean, I have other things better to do with my life. That's kind of being a loser, I would say. If you're going to stay and try and argue with people that don't want to listen to you, just don't do that. Don't waste your time. But I'm still letting him speak, or it speak, or him or they. Maybe it's a bot. Maybe it's a Chinese bot. Maybe my chat's been taken over by a Chinese bot. And all right, I got 2 more minutes. I don't know, 512-481. I had another person calling. They probably got mad. I know a lot of you guys are at work too. It's a Wednesday. 512-481-7464. All right, well, 1, 2, 3, 4. We got 4 callers today. 512, Saquon. Saquon, what's, you know what? Let me just log back out and log back into Skype. I'll try that, okay? I'll turn off Skype and then I'll turn it back on and I'll see. So don't call anybody yet. I'm just gonna restart Skype and see if that's an issue. You guys, if you have some of your friends that are like, oh my God, like the Republicans are trying to steal. Why don't you take some of the Project Veritas videos and just place them in the link and then say, hey, you know, I'm waiting for you to show me evidence of this happening on the Republican side. I can't seem to find any. That would be a great comeback, you know. And, you know, those people that are diehard and adamant and, you know, closed-minded, they're probably still not going to believe it. But I'm telling you guys, there's always somebody reading the threads. There's always somebody, you know, they're not commenting, but I believe you me, people always look at the threads, okay? And I knew this, you know, being a health freedom activist when I would start posting information about vaccines. And then I noticed later, I felt like sometimes people weren't even listening or they weren't even on my side, but I realized people were reading the threads. So there's already, you're like, so if you're not going to get through to somebody that's, if you're not going to get through to somebody, you know, that you're arguing with immediately, you'll get through to somebody that's reading the thread. Believe you me, okay? 512, last one, last chance, 512-481-7464. Last caller, if they call. All right, I started Skype. I restarted Skype. Try one more time. Whoever was trying to, it was Saquon. Saquon, hurry up, because I'm taking whoever calls next. Whoever calls next. I will. Look, I'm letting more trolls speak their mind. You know why? Because I believe in freedom of speech. That's real freedom of speech, right? Like I said, as long as you're not abusive or, you know, you're just trying to tie up which in some cases they do. They're trying to tie up the chat. But see, stomp the shit out of a conservative because we know that you're not biased, okay? Yeah. By the way, I have family members that are Trump supporters, and because I'm outspoken, they tell me, but they're afraid to let other members of the family know. Isn't that sad? Isn't that sad? Do you think you'll be able to tell your family everything? Oh, I know you're not a troll. Oh, okay. You can hear my music. Marco, I will, okay, you know what I'm doing? Well, I'll wait for one last call. If nobody calls within that time, I will, you got 1 minute. Like 1 minute. Maybe 2 minutes. There's a fly. You guys, I was cooking yesterday, and I smoked my house up, and I had to open my doors and my windows to let the smoke out. I swear to God, like an army of flies just like invaded my house, and I'm still dealing with them on my apartment, right? I caught like 5 in the screen door. I was able to open the screen door from the other side and let them out, and there've been like 8 of them that have been, and then I killed like 5 of them. You know what's really good for killing flies? All the vegans are going to be mad at me, but this works. You know what's really good for killing flies is the dish gloves the rubber gloves that you wash your hands with. Those are excellent fly killers. So I went on a rampage and I killed like 5 flies, and now there are 2 that are like rogue. There are 2 more. And it's driving me crazy. I know I can block the trolls, but I'd rather them speak. And like I said, as long as they're not making threats or being, and they just show, they're kind of funny because they just say, you don't have to, you know, also, if you don't respond to the trolls because they're just losers and they want attention, you know, so, they're just losers and they want attention. So you could, you know, if you don't ignore them, I mean, if you just ignore them, they'll just go away, you know. They're just trying to say stuff because, you know, they have no other recourse because they know that they're losing, and they just want to come here to, they just want to come here to, to stir stuff up a bit, you know. That's their only recourse, right? They don't have any ideas on how to solve problems, how to fix this country. They don't have any you know, constructive criticism or feedback or ideas. So all they know how to do is go on, you know, like chat rooms and lie and make claims about stuff. You commuter troll. I know, but I can do that. I'm not going to do that. So either you guys, we're all adults here, either you guys ignore them, or, you know, you can respond to them. Because, you know, this stuff is being recorded, and, you know, when we win and they lose, we can come back later. The revenge will be even so much sweeter. You're welcome to come back, LP, when we find out that Trump wins and Biden loses. I would be, and stomp the shit out of a conservative. You know, I'd be willing to, why don't you even call? You know, we'll let you talk about it, right? You can cry. I'll listen to you. I'll give you some virtual Kleenex, okay? All right, so let me just do my promos. My pros. All right, so who's asking you to listen to my music? You can listen to my music here. All right. I am currently, you can play the video here. It's a music video, and it's also attached to a crowdfunding campaign for a film and album project. So that's the reason why the goal is so high, because I'm actually doing a film and a music project, right? I explain everything down here. I write it out and explain my plan. I just explain the distribution of funds. I explain the amount of people it would take. So we need, if we have this amount of people, 47,000 people, 47,470 people to give us $5, we can reach our goal. 23,708 people to give us $10, 11,854 people to give us $20, 2,370 people to give us $100, 474 people to give us $500, 237 people to give us $1,000, we can reach our goal. And then on the side, this is how you pay, right? Look at where it says select a perk. So when you donate, you'll get a perk, and it would show you a perk of what you get for your contribution. Okay, to the project. It's a little bit crazy right now. This is kind of a soft push, right? I'm gonna start pushing it even more after this election debacle, you know, is over, because it's really on a lot of people's minds right now. Please join my email list for my, you can also listen to it here. Join my YouTube page. The videos ultimately to my YouTube page, which is my band name Biavi, and explains the crowdfunding here and a little bit about that join my other email list. And now I understand why people are so adamant about having people join their email list, because it's like, you know, if my channel goes down, then I basically have to start over. But if I have a YouTube list, if I have an email list, I was watching Anomaly's video about the election. If you have a YouTube list, if you have a email list, then you know, you have direct contact to your subscribers. Whereas if you don't, you know, have that email list, then it's I mean, you can find me, look for Truth or Talk or Biavi on other social media outlets. But if you want to keep up with me, God forbid if my channel goes down, but you know. All right, guys. Let me see if it's a one person calling. Wait. Oh, come on. Yeah, nobody's calling. Okay. I understand people are at work. Thank you for the people that called in. It was a great show. I'm glad I was able to show those clips. Go back and look at the title of the videos. Some of the clips are in the links. Or I can put them in the description after this is. I'll put them at the top of, I'll pin them to the top of the comment section after this is, what do you call it? Because after it actualizes, right? Because this is live, and then it'll be a few minutes, and then you can actually watch the replay. So under the replay, I'll put the links if you want to go and look at the links that I played earlier, if you want to share those links, okay? All right, guys, I will be here tomorrow at 10. I'm doing 2 more shows. Tomorrow, wait, today's Wednesday, Thursday and Friday. Then I'm going to take a break from doing lives. And I think after that, yeah, B-E-A-V-I, that's my music. After that, I'll probably do a show once a week, and I'll just kind of go back to my my monologue videos and stuff like that. But I will do like a live call-in show once a week, and then by that time, hopefully, I'll figure out how to stream through StreamYard so I can be on different multiple platforms and stuff and all that good stuff. So anyway, y'all. All right, I will see you later at 10 tomorrow. Peace. Oh wait, is there somebody calling? No. Okay. All right, guys. I'll talk to you later. Peace and love. Bye bye.